So you've got a great idea and you really want to get it across, but it's complicated. What do you do? Asking for a friend. Hi, I'm Karen Hurt. I'm here with the next edition of Asking for a Friend. And I am here with Gavin McMahon, who has a new book out called Story Business. And so, Gavin, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So absolutely delighted to have you here. I really loved your book for a couple of reasons. One is some of it was just so practical, and we're really, really about practical here at Let's Grow Leaders. So tell me about Grandma.
The book is broken up into a few different parts. The second part is really different genres of storytelling. And one of them is about sales storytelling as a genre. So in other words, how do salespeople use storytelling in their work? And one of the rules that's in there is, remember, Grandma isn't a rocket scientist. And I think that kind of encapsulates the idea that we know way too much and we're usually too passionate about it, which sounds like a compliment, but it's really not. It's a curse for all of us. And we have so much we want to get across. And in any situation, sales, building a brand, whatever it is you're doing, developing a product, usually you have that curse of knowledge and you're trying to get everything across and it doesn't work. I mean, it happened to me writing the book. My first draft was 80,000 words and my publisher came back and said, you need to get this down to 50. So it happens to everyone. And that is a skill, and storytelling can help you with that skill.
Okay, good. So this, I get this question a lot, particularly with highly technical people that I work with, where they are so smart and they really do have complex ideas they're trying to get across. And they're trying to get it across to a variety of audiences who may or may not have that level of knowledge. So just give us like 2 or 3 practical tips of how do you tell the story behind your idea so that you get people to put down their phones and pay attention?
The CEO I know who works in the security business, and he had a line that he used in a speech, which I thought was brilliant. And he said, this is a new vector for the bad guys. Now, if you break down that sentence, it's got 2 components of language. This is a new vector is what I call credibility language. It means he knows what he's talking about because only people in the security space talk about new vectors as ways in. And bad guys, that's grandma language. Everyone understands that. And if you can kind of pitch whatever your idea is and remember that you're always doing that, people never really understand it to the level you understand it. And by the way, you don't need to get them there. I think one of the most fascinating things I came across in writing this book is that, if you ask the question, when was the first commercial electric vehicle available in the US, most people will answer 1970, and wasn't it a Prius or something, or in 1980, and wasn't it a Prius? And the answer is 1890.
Oh, wow.
And it was a vehicle called the Electrobat. So the guy that invented this thing put 2 words together that he thought were brilliant, electricity and battery, and called it an Electrobat. Now, remember, this is at a time when most people are riding around on horses, and you called a car a horseless carriage because that was something people can understand. They understood carriage and they understood the lack of the horse at the front end. And so you've got someone with an electric vehicle calling it Electrobat, and it just doesn't work. And that's the trap we all fall into. It's using these it's providing all our knowledge in one go and thinking we've done a great job. It just doesn't work.
Good. All right. So you take the old words and just make them feel new and something that people can relate to.
ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT just took off overnight. And I think there were decades of investment in AI before that. IBM had Watson, and they put them on all the quiz shows, and they'd done all sorts of marketing around it. And people are like, oh, AI, it's a thing. But you put chat in front of GPT, and everyone knows what chat is. No one knows what GPT means. Right. I mean, maybe some people will tell you it's a general purpose transformer, but then after that, they won't be able to tell you what it really does.
Right.
But everyone gets that first idea. And I think the real genius of ChatGPT was whoever somewhere decided, well, we'll just call it ChatGPT, because Claude didn't take off, Gemini didn't take off, all the other ones that had names, they're just inaccessible to people.
So give me like maybe one or two other pieces of advice for somebody who's really trying to get their idea noticed and communicating.
Well, again, if you remember who your audience is, and you remember that they are the hero of the story, and make it land in a way that it's understandable for them, not understandable for you, understandable for them, because you want to move them to do something. So a good example is an idea from the movie business. They have something called a log line, which is a short line that describes the script that you're going to make. So a log line for, if you remember the movie Speed from decades ago with Keanu Reeves, that the log line for that was like, it's Die Hard on a bus. So you're making a comparison, and that's comparisons are immensely powerful. If you can make comparisons all the time, it works. So in Silicon Valley, when Uber was first popular and people were pitching ideas, they would say it's Uber for an insert industry here. They're using that comparison all the time. And I think that's a really useful trick for people. If you can think about what's that comparator that I'm trying to get it across. ChatGPT works the same way. So that's a trick that I think is really useful.
There's lots of books on storytelling out there. What makes yours different?
Well, there's a couple of different, I would say, groups of books on storytelling. So one is the kind of classic, this is how to get better at storytelling. And you'll get people that are screenwriters and authors will tell you how to write better stories. And that's not this book. There's another group of books that are written by people like Seth Godin and others that are around how marketers really need to get hold of storytelling. This is really for everyone else, because I think storytelling, and you know this, Karen, it's a really powerful leadership tool. Leadership essentially is all around making choices and then getting people to kind of line up against those choices. And storytelling, if leadership is making the choice, storytelling is how you amplify that choice. And so as a leader in whatever function, in whatever profession, you want to be able to line people up. And that's still going to be true, in the age of AI. It's still going to be around getting people lined up. So the better you are at telling a story, which means communicating with humans, then the better you are going to be as a leader. It just amplifies everything you do.
Great. Excellent. All right, Gavin, tell us where people can find your book. Tell us the name of your book again and how people can learn more about you and your important work.
The book is Story Business. You can find it on Amazon, or you can also find it at story-business.com. It's available in Kindle. If you want to listen to me speak it, it's available as an audiobook. It's available as a hardcover and a paperback.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Really a joy to talk with you again.
Thanks for having me.